I love the fact that Bournemouth are in the Premier League, not as much as their chairman, Jeff Mostyn. I went down there on Monday to find out how it's all going. We decided to film in this dressing room, mainly because the last time most people saw you in this dressing room, you knew it was coming.
Yeah, well, I don't have a feeling.
Was that amazing celebration?
Yeah.
What do you remember about the day and the moment?
Well, I'll never forget the day, and I want to forget the moment. The after-match celebrations, nobody will ever, let me forget. Where the boys had, I think it was about 15 shots on target on the pitch. I think we had about 73 shots on target in the boardroom. So that set me up really nicely, and then I find, my God, I'm running out of time here. I need to get down to the most important people in my life, because they are my extended family, the boys. What's going on in the dressing room. Now, what I just missed by seconds was your colleagues turning around to the boys and saying, you can do whatever you want, you can take your clothes off, you can swing from the ceiling, you cannot use any expletives. Probably in the same position that you are, Tommy Elphick's going like in front of me, but the damage had already been done. I didn't even know what would happen. And then, of course, the boys, tip me upside down, and Callum gives me a good spanking. And I just thank Callum, and I said, Callum, something I want to thank you for. I said, for 23 years, I've been trying to convince my wife that that's normal.
Obviously, an amazing dream to get to the Premier League. Now you're in the Premier League. Is it still a dream, or is it very much, this is reality now?
This is reality, because everybody's still talking about Bournemouth and the incredible story, and you can get sucked into that. And I'm still guilty of, when I go to grounds, David Sullivan saying, what a privilege it is being here. And I'm using the word privilege all the time. And yet people are saying to me, it's not a privilege, it's a right. You're here by right because you were the best side in the Championship last year. After 116 years, of this football club, bar a few years being in the wilderness, suddenly, we're rubbing shoulders with the literati, of world football. You've got to actually pinch yourself sometimes to recognise you're there.
You mentioned David Sullivan. He said he hated going to the Etihad.
Yes.
You went there on Saturday.
Yeah.
Not a great result for you, but you're a City fan, aren't you?
No, I'm a Bournemouth fan. I'm an old City fan.
An old City fan. Yeah. Was that difficult for you then?
It was very difficult. Interestingly enough, there was no difficulty in who I'm supporting. At the same time, I had immense pride to be chairman of a football club as a Mancunian, to go back, to my boyhood side, was unbelievable.
But they should have had a guy sent off, shouldn't they? Then you got Mendy?
Well, it's I've had enough controversy with referees this year, so I have to be careful.
You're not saying anything.
Yeah, that if you're happy to pay my fine, I'm happy to spend the next hour with you, slaughtering everybody in sight.
I can see what you're saying. The City should have been down to 10 men, and you'd have definitely won. Jeff, take us back to the beginning, when you first decided to get involved with Bournemouth. Why?
I'm a fanatical football man. I'd always wanted to be a footballer. Obviously, never made it. But I'd always wanted to be involved in football, and somehow I thought, as a financial advisor, I could turn the fortunes of this football club around. I was deluded, and that's when I realised I must have left my head at home. I just loved the place. I loved the club. I had a passion. I thought I could make a difference, and the club was going. It would have been liquidated, if we hadn't put the money in the club at that time.
When you first moved in, when you first got that, can you believe from that moment when you realised quite what you'd taken on, that side would ever be anywhere near the Premier League?
No, it was just hand to mouth. We couldn't afford a first-class stamp. It was just ridiculous. Remember, at that time, we had a 10-point deduction the first year. We played Carlisle away, the last game of the season, needing to win to stay up. It was the day of my daughter's wedding. So I'm at the wedding. Our local radio station had given me a single feed earpiece. And I've got the earpiece in and I'm listening to the game. which we drew. The final whistle went. Cheltenham had an amazing result, and it meant we were relegated. I'm the most emotional person God's ever put on this planet. I burst into tears. Everybody at the wedding thinks that I'm crying because I'm giving my daughter away.
So are you walking up the aisle?
I'm literally giving my daughter away. I couldn't give her away before that. And I am literally bursting into tears because the club's been relegated. It was just a moment I'll never forget. And I had half of Kevin Bond's family there in tears as well. So they were crying because he was practically out of a job.
If I win the Euro Millions, should I buy Cambridge United?
No, you should buy Bournemouth. Because if you've got that many millions, we'll take your money.
Jeff, thanks for your time. Thank you, Jeff. Such a top bloke, and what he's done at Bournemouth is amazing. And they were so close to falling into non-league. And you started in non-league, but you were there for